Hi, David Nelson here from Adsotech. Just wanted to take a moment to talk about process automation and the tool that we use for that, which is Automate Studio or Automate Studio Evolve. So process automation comes in a few different ways. With our customers, you can use it in one Excel where you link scripts together and have a whole process sort of automated from within the Excel. We also have web-based forms that we use with the Evolve solution. But what happens if you want to take that process to external entities, people outside your organization? So maybe you need to have a customer or a vendor fill in some information. Well, for that, we would normally use either APIs or portals. So we've asked Divya from Precisely to give us a bit of an introduction into the Evolve portals. So here's the video. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Divya Kaivar. I am a sales engineer with Precisely. I'm based in London. I've been with the company for a little over 15 years. I've held many different roles, but predominantly working on the product, both from a technical and functional standpoint. Today's session is all going to be on the portals feature that was released in Evolve a couple of years ago. And this will give us an idea about what the portals look like, what the design elements are, and also some of the architecture components that are needed. So to start with, now, why did we really want to come up with web portals as an option? So web portals gives users the ability to share information in a centralized place. You could also have multiple types of web portals for a particular industry, particular community, or also a particular feature set. This can be completely personalized. So the advantage of that is you could dictate what content actually goes on a portal, what it looks like, what are the features and options that you would want to open up within the portal, and that in a nutshell would enhance the user experience, giving them a self-service capability of working with our application. And again, opening up solutions without any human intervention that is required to flow that data between an external party to an internal party, and so on. While we actually help in the building of portals and rendering that out, we also see that this can enhance and streamline better communication within your vendor customer base and the internal organization. You also can facilitate collaboration. For example, there can be a chat facility that can be opened. You also can have a resource center and also a news bulletin board. And features like this would enhance the way of how you can efficiently work with your external parties and have that central place for better communication and collaboration with them. Now, before we jump into portals, what I'd like to do is reintroduce the Precisely Automate platform and really just talk about where portals actually fit in the whole scheme of things. So here I want to first of all talk a little bit about Evolve, which is our enterprise-grade data and process automation platform. So this, as we are aware of, can work both with Excel and web forms that can be designed and have an end-to-end automation of a workflow. So this platform gives you that ability of that start to finish end-to-end process automation capabilities, touching all the different points of data collection, validation, approvals that may be needed before you integrate to SAP. The Automate platform is better known for its integration to SAP. So the studio capability for data automation is still very integral as a part of this platform. So this gives us and the users the ability to mass manage data using Excel as an interface and also integrate very easily with SAP by the click of a button. The platform comes with its own governance and administration module as well. So this gives users a centralized repository of all the solutions, scripts, templates that are created. This also forms as a license management application as well as user management. So a central governance platform is also very much a part of the Evolve application. Now, for a long time, the Automate platform was very well known for its capability with SAP. So what we have now extended is by providing an API framework. We have a few different types of APIs which will assist a business process to reach beyond SAP. So with this API framework, we can now connect to third-party applications that are non-SAP, that are very much a part of your end-to-end business process. So this gives us that edge over just being able to automate SAP, but also connect to other systems of record that might be important to the organization. In addition to that, we also have the portals capability, which is what we're focusing on today. Now, these could be both internal portals that can be used as a landing page or an intranet page to access the different solutions built on Evolve, but they can also be externally facing portals to reach out to your external vendor or customer or your business partner network to take part in a given business process. And today we will be looking at how this fits and what it looks like within the Evolve platform. Now, what we provide within Evolve is an ability to create custom portals. So this is completely a self-service option. And there are different types of portals that can be designed. So just as the nature of the Evolve platform goes, it is a horizontal application that can span across any data object or any business area. And similarly, a portal would also cater to any kind of business use case that you would want it to be. What we see is that we provide a very simple portal development experience with a drag and drop approach. The internal portals that are provided are available within Evolve for the users to use, and that does not have any additional licensing fee to it. However, the external portals, which we will be talking about in a little bit more detail, does open up some of your data and forms over the internet, and that is licensed separately. Now, the portal design is complete widget-based experience, so there is absolutely no code that is required to design or put together a portal. We provide a visual canvas, a design experience with different widgets that can be dragged and dropped onto this canvas. And what we can facilitate on this portal is the ability to reach out and open up forms or take part in a given business process or look up reports or attach supporting data. And it becomes that central user experience that a user would have on working within Evolve. In addition to having this as a landing page and a visual UI for launching forms and taking part in the business processes, you also can enable chat facilities. You could have user-based dashboards. You could have a multilingual user interface, and users can very easily manage their SAP data in a self-service mode, launch a workflow, or be a participant within a running workflow, all from within the portal itself. So this becomes that central page that the users would go to in order to access and work with anything that they would wish to do within Evolve. Some examples of the portals would be, typically we hear a lot of our customers and interested in the concept of a supplier portal or a customer portal, which can be used for onboarding new suppliers and customers. This could also be for change requests. This could be for pricing of the material maintenance process, but it's endless, really. It completely depends on what the use case is that an organization would want, and that can be designed and put together within the portal. With that said, let's take a quick look at the portal UI and the design. So I'm going to bring up a few portals that have been designed and put together. So as an end user, if I have access to a portal, it would pretty much look like this. So this example here is that of a vendor portal. So you'll see here that there is a banner stating that I have access to various different templates. So each of these here are different forms that can be initiated from within here. I also have the ability of accessing my task list. So this gives me a list of all the open tasks that are in my name that I have to action on. A quick chart or a tabular data which indicates the number of open processes or what's running behind the scenes. You also can have a platform where you can drop files or provide information. It's more like a news bulletin to have any information that you need to push out to users that can be published here. Again, you completely can dictate what goes onto a portal and what doesn't, what is visible, and what the layout is, what the styling is. All of that can be changed. You'll also see that there are some help elements here. So if I just choose to open up a couple of them here, so they should open up as a page that we would be calling from within that. So it's a quick URL. But similarly, if I say that I now need to onboard a new supplier as a business partner, that is going to launch a web form associated with a workflow that has been designed using Evolve. So all these are the various functions that a given portal can have. We looked at a vendor portal, so it had quite a lot of information. But again, you could take a completely different approach and keep it a bit more simple. So this particular portal here is to launch new products. So it's our NPI hub, as you would see. And again, it has a very simplistic UI. So it's got these big tiles, which really talk about what I have. Again, if I'm requesting a new product creation, I launch into that. If I want to look at my open task list, I go there. If I'm just interested in the reporting side of things, I would click into that and look at it. And again, I can call support or chat to someone if I need any assistance about anything. So again, clicking into one of these icons would launch that appropriate element that has been designed within that. But the idea I wanted to project was that you could have a portal that is as simplistic in nature or a bit more detailed based on the user's requirements. Now let's take a little look at how this is designed or built behind the scenes. So I'm going to open up Evolve as an administrator. So what we are looking at here is the Evolve platform. I am in the administration view, and we have the portal design capability built in here. Again, you can assign users as designers or architects of this portal. You also can go through a review of that portal before users start using it. For all internal portals, the access to the portal is driven based on the Evolve access. You again can associate specific users or AD groups to have access to a specific portal. But when we have that portal designed, you'll see a few different elements. So I'm going to go into the vendor portal that I just showed you. So if I click into the edit mode, you'll notice that this is now an internal portal. It's got all the basic information. So when you are setting up a new portal, that's pretty much what you would need to say. Whether it's internal or external, the name of the portal, who your architects are, who the reviewers are, and you're building a portal URL with a specific port. And again, when you are choosing the port names, you can go to your administrators, sort of the infrastructure people within your organization, and they will let you know what open ports are available that you could build and work on. When we create a portal like this, it creates an IIS site. So just for the technically minded, and that's just called as a site that you could go in and work on. Now the design elements here, if I go into the actions, I'm just going to close up some of this. So you will see that the portal that we just took a look at, this is what it looks like behind the scenes. Now, if I just do a quick preview of it, you will see that this is how the different widgets have taken shape, and this is the data that it holds. And you again can see how this would render itself on both a mobile device or on a laptop or a big screen. Now, when we are putting together portals, just to give you a quick glimpse of that, I'm just going to switch over to the demo platform here. So you will see here that we have a few different widgets that are added. So I'm just going to delete a couple. And then what we have here is this blank canvas that's given to us. And these are the various widgets that you could drag and drop onto the canvas. So you could again put in, I'm just clicking through a few of them. 3 of them have been added successfully, as you see here. And once we have this, added, we can then work with the different setting options that are provided here. Now, every widget that's added has a few of these standard options here. The properties are all about the look and feel. So this is where you could put a title to it. You could have a specific color scheme that you're associating with that widget. You again kind of decide on what the look and feel is, the font and the color and the sizing of those fields and the layout of it and so on and so forth. What happens next here is actually the content. So what does that particular widget actually carry? So here I can go in and say that this list of option that I've got here, the widget, has to be a list of different templates that I am going to open up. So I'm just going to say it's going to show the display name, and I'm going to just go into my own app here and say I want to open up some of these different solutions that are designed here. And just by opening up those 5, go ahead and hit next. We also can enhance the look and feel. So each of these, you could build a title to it. You could also add a little image. You could add a more detailed description. So if I can go back to this vendor portal to give you an idea about what they are, that's an image, that's the name, that's the detail that we are associating with every item within that list widget. And that's exactly what we enter here. So you could go ahead and do that. So again, I am just going to say multiple entries, and then I hit save. I'm just going to hit submit for now, but you will see that because I did not change the layout, it just opens up as a list. But again, I could say I'm going to put this as a different layout here, and that would look slightly different. Again, if I have my images, that would come up here and so. The same applies for every widget that you would add. You again have that cogwheel here, which talks about the properties on the look and feel of that widget. And then you have the content selection that you could choose to work with and then say, okay, I'm interested in adding a specific type of content within that particular widget. In addition to the standard widgets that you see here, we also can hold a whole lot of content. So you could again have different style sheets applied here. You could have different images, links, videos can be called from within here, documents can be accessed, a list of values can be given, and pages are basically having multiple pages of a given portal here like this. You again can have the header footer information, the chat option can be completely configured, but all the settings that I'm showing you here are designed using that click-through, drag and drop widget-based design approach, and hence there is no programming that is needed for any of these. Evolve also gives you the ability of designing as many internal portals as you would want. So that's completely covered within the Evolve platform license section. Now, that was a little bit about the portal UI itself and the design components. What I want to do is talk a little bit about how external portals can be designed and applied here. Now, the design time of this portal is exactly the same as what we've just been through within the internal portal design, but architecture-wise, there are a few elements that I'd like to talk about. So when we are adding external portals, they are very much designed on Evolve within the admin view, but the external portals are deployed on Azure. So there are a few different Azure services that are required to enable or make this external portal accessible by your external stakeholders. Now, in terms of what an example would look like and how the flow of data would work, though this is giving access over the internet, it's not an internet site that can be accessed by all the users, or it's not open out there on the World Wide Web. So this is a more controlled portal, and users within Evolve for given processes will have to provide access. So it's more like a permission-driven portal access that we are looking at here. So if it's an example of a vendor portal, which is an external facing portal that's hosted on Azure, the process would typically work like this. You have an internal employee triggering a request, sending out the details to that external vendor. The vendor gets an email to register their username and password to access that particular portal. And once they have registered, that portal access is provided to that particular vendor. And from then on, anything that they would access through that will still be communicated back through that form and that workflow back into Evolve. So typically, if you're looking at an Evolve form and a workflow process, a few of the swim lanes could be external facing, and the others are all internal facing for that end-to-end process flow to happen. In terms of the architecture, so as I mentioned, there are a few different Azure services that are needed to deploy the Evolve portals. So first of all, you'll see that there is an Azure static website that is being used to host the portal UI component. So this is what will be exposed to the external users. We then have an Azure function. It's again there to host the portal service component. The relay here acts as a hybrid connection service. It's provided by Microsoft. It's used to relay the portal UI data calls to Evolve backend, where a relay worker is installed here, and that's how the communication would occur. And lastly, we have the Azure B2C Active Directory, and that is used to manage all the portal authentication. So the signing up page, the logging in page, the password forget or the reset page, all of that access will be available through the B2C directory. Again, as you see here, the portal builder is very much within Evolve, and the Evolve architecture remains exactly the same. It's just that the actual portal is now available over the internet outside of your firewall for the users to access and work with. I will provide details around where you could find information. But again, what is set up within Azure are a number of different service components. So when you are working with the resources that you would build within Azure, there are a fair few list of entries that need to be created. I'll talk a little bit about it when I show you the elements within the external portal. And again, this is again for your reference. You would be able to access and see what type of users and skill set is required for setting up this portal. You also can take the help of a services organization, either your partner or directly with Precisely, to help or assist in the building of this portal, or at least setting up the very first one. But there is your IT involvement and the DevOps involvement that would be required for providing the access through Azure for an external portal. Now, just giving you a quick idea, I'm not going to go into the design experience, but if you look at one of these portals and again to the details behind the scenes, so you will see here that this is marked as an external portal. You again will have an architect. You will again have a portal URL. And again, this is something that you would buy on the web, so as a domain name as such. And then again, there are a whole lot of details that are coming from Azure in terms of the identity provider, again, the relay service, the sign-in details, and so on. And again, you have all the information that you will generate within Azure to build this through. In terms of the setup, within our help guide for Evolve, we have the external portal setup, which we would recommend to follow. This talks about the different services, what prerequisites are there, and all the different steps that we would need to follow in order to set up an Azure portal. And this is really where the DevOps team would be coming in useful. Quick note on the pricing model before we close. So this is really just to emphasize the fact that there's no charge on internal portals. So internal portals come within Evolve. So if you've already got Evolve, as long as you're on the correct release of Evolve, which where the portals exist, you could start using portals by designing internal portals at no additional cost. External portals, of course, are priced per portal. So the portals are not licensed based on the number of users, but the number of external portals that you would want to deploy. So for example, if you wish to have a vendor portal and a customer portal, both externally facing, you're paying for 2 portals. But if you just want the supplier portal, then you're just paying for 1. As simple as that. So with that,
Great. Thank you, Divya.
pretty much close
Yeah,
to
and if you have any questions,
completing
please
this
feel free
introduction
to
on
reach out to
portals.
us at
Again, there are quick
info@adsotech.com
links that
or
we've
visit our
provided
website.
here. So it gives you
We'll look
all the
forward to
details
speaking to
that
you
you
all
would
again.
need to help
Thank you.
set up
Bye-bye.
an internal portal and what those different widget options are, which I clicked through briefly to show you what they look like and what you could make it work. And similarly, again, for external portals, we are talking a little bit about the portal framework, the step-by-step guide to building the portal setup itself. Again, there are the architecture components, and there are also details about the end-to-end call flow and how that would work. So that's pretty much what we had for this session. Again, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to set up a call and talk to you about it. Thank you.